And welcome in to the final game of this 22-game weekend from Portage La Prairie, Manitoba at Stride Place Arena. It's our 14th broadcast of this weekend, as the 8 other games out of the 22 have been played on what they refer to as the Mutual Arena, the Portage Mutual Arena here at Stride Place Arena, and we're getting set at the Stride Place Event Center for the Eastman Selects taking on a CSSHL opponent in the Pilot Mound Hockey Academy Buffaloes. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator for this matchup, as I have been for most of this weekend, Graham the G-Show Forsyth. Addison Tomes gets the start in net for the Eastman Selects, who will be the home team in this game. For the Buffaloes in net, it will be number 35 in Ali Adama. As this game, as all of our other games have been this weekend, brought to you by Terrico, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Elite Prospects, and Movement Fitness and Performance. For Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, our first period sponsor, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out today at 995 Miltsteagle Drive, or visit their website at cancentralsportscards.com. The Pilot Mound Buffaloes, they have the puck down below, looking to control it. Number 71 in Rory Perrin. Perrin has that knocked off her stick up to the point to Sadie Swanton, U18 Team Manitoba defenseman. She was named to the national team on their top 24 roster. Congratulations to Miss Sadie Swanton from Dauphin, Manitoba, the 2009-born defenseman. Going to play a huge part in Pilot Mound's success this year. She holds the line, sends this cross ice in the select zone, as it's picked up by AP defenseman this weekend, Abby Tyndall, filling in for Vader Rigaud, who's absent this weekend for the Eastman Selects. Summer Rae sends this in deep. Adama out of her own net to leave that for Swanton. Swanton passes it up to number 15 and Constant, as Y Constant continues on in the neutral zone. As that puck knocked off her stick, as Constant and Logan Sullivan go off for a change for this Buffalo side. As Reese Beavis tries to send this through on net, taken away, as pick in her pocket was number 18, Riley Sanders. Sanders behind her own net, whiffs on this breakout, attempted pass, Schroeder's shot goes wide of the net. In the Pilot Mound zone, great chance here for Emily Carrier, scores! She's had a hot stick all weekend long, and for a third day, Emily Carrier gets on the board. As for the second day in a row out of these 3 days since, Kennedy Carey ended up scoring the lone goal for Eastman in their Friday loss to the Pembina Valley Hawks, but space for Emily Carrier to carry that puck a little bit more towards the slot area before firing one past the glove hand of Adama. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. As number 21 for the Eastman Selects gets it going here this afternoon. Sitter to Teifel sends that in deep, as Nichaporik in on the forecheck first for the Buffaloes. Nichaporik continuing the battle, met by Grenier down low. Grenier shovels this up the board. So does Lambert, as Lambert just gets it to Grenier, and Grenier able to get by a stick. Has Carrier heading to the net. Isabella Carrier can't pull the trigger. She was in tight trying to take that to the backhand, but was denied. Couldn't get a clean handle on it. As this sent all the way down, Delaney Rigaud trying to cut that off down low, but a quick DDD pass for the Buffaloes as they look to get this breakout going. Intended for Vines, that pass was. Just all the way down for an icing. Called just before Tomes covered it up. It's Emily Carrier, number 21 for the Eastman Selects, who gets the scoring going here within the first. 3 minutes of this contest. 16:44 remaining. It was also the first shot of the game. Tough one for Adama to have to deal with, as Summer Rae sends this into the corner. It'll be to Scott Cook, as that shot on net turned aside by Adama. It'll be played up to the point. Blake Hawes, her shot through some traffic, deflects wide of the net. It'll be to Scott Cook, backhands this up to Tyndall. Her shot turned aside by Adama. Scott Cook wheeling up in the zone now to the left face-off circle. Wide of the net, that shot for 15, as Summer Rae has it down below. That pass to the point just gets there for Tyndall. Tyndall back to the boards, but a misfire as it's Pilot Mound who possesses this puck now. Sadie Swanton just decides to send this all the way out off of Blake Hawes. This ends up onto the stick of Tomes as she leaves that for Reese Beavis. Beavis and Hawes, a pairing that I'm sure Eastman's gonna like to go to in some key moments this year, both returning from last year's championship team in 2024-2025. In fact, the only newcomer to this year's D-Corps, aside from Abby Tyndall playing some AP time, but in terms of the regulars, it's Sophie Remillard. As the Remillard legacy continues for Eastman, that turned aside by the Buffaloes, clearing away the rebound in front of Adama. As the Selects looking dangerous here early, not satisfied with the 1-goal lead, looking to extend it. Misplay in their own end as the Buffaloes searching for it, can't find it, as the Selects able to scoop it up. That off the boards to Schroeder, has Lambert out wide, kicks it to number 19 as Schroeder heads to the net. Lambert decides to shoot, trying to shoot through a screen, off the side of the net and in for a 2-0 goal. That's Sasha Lambert. With 5 minutes and 9 seconds into this one, has Eastman up 2-0. Talking about extending the lead, Eastman almost gets in trouble in their own end there, but able to alleviate the pressure. A nice breakout. Great job by Schroeder to kick that out to Lambert before entering the zone. Just throw it on the net, great things happen. Second chance there for Eastman, ends up into the back of the net. As Lambert ends up following up on her own rebound. 2010-born forward from Lorette, Manitoba, remains out there with Schroeder and Emily Carrier. As it's kicked out to Lambert again, tries to cut through the middle, but denied by the skate by Reese Sitter. That shot, off the crossbar. Looked like it was off the inside bar. The back bar, that is. But we play on 2-0 for the time being. Eastman continuing to fire away at this Buffaloes defensive zone at their goaltender, Adama, as Delaney Rigaud ends up firing that wide of the net. What a shift for Emily Carrier. She goes off for a change. As for the Buffaloes, stood up at the line, but loose puck up for Atkinson. That shot from distance gloved down by Tomes. As number 34 makes a routine save. As all four Buffaloes there on, well, before the feed from Emily Carrier, all go towards her, leaving a wide open Delaney Rigaud, and that's not a player you like to leave wide open ideally. Led this Eastman Selects team in goals last season. As for Delaney Rigaud, helped out by a bit of interference there put on by Isabella Carrier. Rigaud took a hit down low before sending it back up to the point to Beavis, to Hawes, redirect in the slot, but blocked up. So there's too much traffic for Grenier to get that through. Nice glove action there by Beavis, holds this in. Buffaloes get possession of it back. As for Pilot Mound, trying to stretch this out, this ends up being intercepted. Down low off the boards to Rigaud. Rigaud plays it up the boards, but that out of the reach for a teammate. It'll be Constant who gets possession of it, but her pass up the middle to the center ice, intercepted right back down to the Buffalo zone. Sadie Swanton lifts this out of her own end. A bit too far is this, all the way for an icing. A Swanton and her D partner, Avery Crow, will have to remain out on ice. Rory Perrin, Logan Sullivan, and Kira Vines, the forwards out for the Buffaloes. Scott Cook, along with Kennedy Carrier. Not sure who else. Summer Rae out there as the forwards for the Selects. It's Sophie Remillard sends this puck on net, covered up by Adama. To get a stoppage here with 12:41 remaining in the first period of action, with Selects taking on the Buffaloes. The Buffaloes from Pilot Mound, the Selects from Eastman. This all Manitoban matchup to end off the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase. Be swatted by the stick of Swanton. Hard enough to get it out though. Swanton chips it to herself, looking to do so again. Got it to a teammate. She kicks us up to Vines. Vines has Perrin with her as Vines takes this wide. Goes up to the pointer, tries to get it to Carrolls, but that didn't end up getting to number 2 in Kendra Carrolls. Ends up instead onto Eastman's stick, and they send it in deep. Hey, Kendra looking up ice. It's a body of a Select. It's back onto the Buffaloes stick. Kira Vines sends this in. Blake Hawes gets it. Over to Tyndall, back to Hawes, up to Lambert. Already going this game. Same with Carrier, as Emily will be denied that time by Adama. It's well-deserved stick taps on her pad. And a trend for this female Buffaloes team throughout the years has been high volume of shots allowed. But with the new era of Kurt Fortney and Ryan Carrolls as the coaches, Ryan Carrolls the head coach for this Buffaloes team, Fortney the assistant coach. The defensive system that they've implemented, it's about trusting that process and just getting better and better as the season goes along. And what way to get better than to play a team that's as skilled and as stacked as this Eastman Selects team, who've looked better and better as this weekend has gone along. Carrier, her pass to the slot won't go for Delaney Rigaud. Yeah, on that point about the Buffaloes, the goal set last year, Fortney and Carrolls stepped in even a few years ago, was to implement a defensive first system. Take care of your own end first, worry about the offense after for this Buffaloes squad. They do have some talent on this team. It's a hard-working group. But gotta find a way to up their game, especially in the defensive zone where Eastman's been eating them for lunch so far. And same with just establishing the offensive zone more, which sees some okay offensive zone time there from the Buffaloes. It's back down into their own end as Sadie Swanton, first one on this puck. Swanton flips this up the wall, ends up bouncing out of her own end, but ends up hopping right back in to Pilot Mound's end. Yet again, off the backboards, tough pass for Swanton to Cradle, but she does so anyways. Got it into the neutral zone, puck along the boards, in between the two benches. The Select successful being able to get this puck out. Digging it from the wall. So it's a D-to-D pass, and now stretched up ice off the stick of Constant. No icing called on the play. She redirected it after the red line. Sullivan, Perrin, and Constant, the forwards out right now for the Buffaloes. Constant drops this back to Kendra Carrolls. D-to-D this goes to number 12 in Warwick. Is this sent in to the direction of Perrin? In to help Sullivan. Logan Sullivan has Chloe Carrier tied up along the boards. This gets to the low slot for Perrin. For Vines. Pass received from Perrin. This along the wall. Logan O'Sullivan keeps this down low for Perrin. Perrin towards the front of the net. No one home for the Buffaloes. They were all down low. It's back in their own end. Almost a dangerous pass there across to Warwick from Carrolls. But the Buffaloes able to evade the pressure and get this out. So it's D-to-D to Chloe Carrier. And Carrier tries to flip it out. Meets the stick of a Buffalo instead as Vines tries to fight her way through. Sorry, that's actually number 18 in Sanders. Great effort shown there from number 18. 77 in Miel Johnson going to work down low. She's pinned up along the boards by Chloe Carrier from the Selects. Scott Cook also pinned up along the boards, and with that, puck wasn't moving, so we get a stop and play. With 8:30 remaining in this first period, 2-0 in favor of the Eastman Selects. The Buffaloes got to give them credit. They've weathered the storm a bit here, starting to create some cycles, some offensive zone opportunity in the Selects end. Even getting into the high slot with a shot opportunity. It's just about executing and finishing now for this team. As Sitter sends it down low. Or Sitar, rather. As at the point, sent towards the net, that blocked up. It's Miel Johnson who took the shot. Shot by the Selects to stay in the lanes. Select tripped up, now pushed down along the boards. Emily Carrier, and that will be a bit too physical from Pilot Mound. 2 minutes for body contact. Reese Sitar be going to the box. So we bring on Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for our first power play of this contest. Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. If you're ever in the Winnipeg area, be sure to check them out at 995 Mount Seagull Drive. They're Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Also have a website you can check out at cancentralsportscards.com as well. Again, that's cancentralsportscards.com, their website. As Beavis at the top of the point, that banks out to the front after hitting the end glass or the end boards. Almost a fortunate bounce there for the Buffaloes, as that was a heavy shot just high of the net from Beavis. Speaking of Beavis, out there right now on the left to Schroeder. Schroeder's pass to the right to Carrier. Emily, that is. Doesn't end up going. It's into the corner. Schroeder helping out Carrier. She spins away from the pressure. Beavis. Right back to Emily Carrier. She shoots, looks, fires, and turned aside. In the Buffaloes' crease by Adama. As Ali Adama comes all the way from Thunder Bay, Ontario, in her last season of eligibility to play the U18 level, as she is graduating coming up in 2026. Same with Ren Hall. So the experience from the Buffaloes, it's well documented in that duo, as that ends up side of the net, denied as Tyndall. Nice save by Adama. Did he head across and stymie number 4. Chloe Carrier to Isabella Carrier to the slot. That pass misfired. She tried to locate the stick of Grenier for a redirection. Another chance redirected high of the net. That chance for Delaney Rigaud is it's rimmed all the way around and out of the Buffalo zone. And first one on it will be Ferguson, as Bella Ferguson sends this in deep. Backs off of Chloe Carrier with 12 seconds left as she heads back towards her bench, looking to get some fresh legs on. Logan O'Sullivan defending, misses with the reach there at center ice. Chloe Carrier drags it in, but an offside on the play. Called by the linesman. As the power play effectively over at this point, there's like a second left on the penalty to Reese Sitar, who she'll come right out of the box and assume her defensive position at the left point. Reese Beavis is played across. Delaney Rigaud sticks this by number 16 and Sitar. Sitar, another penalty coming up to number 16. A bit careless with the stick, maybe. So Rigaud ends up being tripped. Extra attacker on. It's Summer Rae. Selects looking to control this. They'll be right back on the power play here coming up. That touched up. So rebound cleared away. 2 minutes for a trip. As if you're Pilot Mound, you got to be expecting this all game long. Like, Eastman is going to continue to skate, going to continue to come at you. They love to work down low, create on the cycle. Exactly what they were looking to set up as Delaney Rigaud tried to take it around the net, gets tripped up instead. And I think number 18 will take that sort of team back onto the power play. With 5:18 remaining in this period, 11-3, the shots in favor of the Selects, and they look to add on more here coming up. The Buffaloes looking to survive again on the penalty kill. A Sitar back in the box. Beavis hands this off to Hawes. Back to Beavis. To Hawes, top of the right face-off circle, trying to locate teammate backdoor, but no one home. As Beavis at the line, posts this to herself. Beavis walks in, fire, tipped on net, covered up by Adama. As Ali Adama continues to look really comfortable as this period's gone along. Really tough shots she faced on those goals she's given up. But continue to play lights out like this, maybe it gives your team a bit more motivation, right? You're able to create those positive vibes to start a bid for a comeback. As Hawes unable to get that through. Puck will be picked up by Beavis. Hawes looked like she just held the line, but no. Called offside by the referee. Hawes and Beavis go off for a change. Rory Perrin and Sophie Drummond, the forwards out for the Buffaloes. Draw one by the Selects. So it's over to Sophie Remillard. Remillard down the left side. Gets closed off right away by number 7 and Sadie Swanton. Team Manitoba U18 defenseman back out there. As this whacked out by the Buffaloes all the way down into the Selects end. With under a minute of power play time remaining. Coming up on 45 seconds only on the clock as Sophie Remillard headmans this up to Sasha Lambert. The most recent goal in this game, Lambert loses that puck in between her skates. Allows for Bella Ferguson to send that all the way out. There's 30 seconds that remain on the power play now. For Eastman, defending MFHL champs, work this back to a rookie in Lambert, to another rookie in Emily Carrier. Sends that down low to a third rookie in Sophie Remillard. She goes up to a vet in Chloe Carrier, across to Emily Carrier. That to the low slot for Schroeder, but redirected wide. 7 seconds remain. Maybe one more chance right in front of the crease, but that pass not connecting with Emily Carrier. Good pressure from the Slugs. No goal. There's a goal right afterwards. So get tipped in front. It's a shot from Chloe Carrier. That looks like Lambert's second of the game. 3-0. Selects lead. I think this is a player. You're able to have a game like this as a rookie right before the regular season starts. It could do wonders for your confidence. And Lambert, she's been playing better and better as this weekend's gone along. She's found ways to get more active in the fight on the forecheck and going to the right spots. Nice hand-eye coordination. A great finish. That goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. For Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store, is that chance denied by Adama. In tight honor was Isabella Carrier. It's number 8. And really dangerous every time she's stepped into the offensive zone this weekend. There spins and fires towards the slot for Delaney Rigaud. Trying to find it as Rigaud whacked it through. She loses her balance now. Almost took Constant down with her. As puck along the boards, kept in by the by the Selects. So it'll be to Delaney Rigaud. Rigaud over to Hawes. Hawes tries firing that cross ice. Intended for Summer Rae. Summer Rae, nice move down low. Good stick handling. Pass up to Hawes. That rebound there given up by Adama. Still loose, trying to tuck it in, but can't. What a save by number 35. Be able to keep that out of the back of the net. There's been one positive for the Buffaloes so far. Is that their goaltender? You know, she's been ready to play and ready to fight in this one. She looks to stop the bleeding from getting even worse here. The Buffaloes have proven that they can come back and stay in games with just about anyone in this tournament so far. Aside from big loss to the Avros, they've had a tie and a 4-2 loss heading into this game. Into that third game against the Avros. 0-2-1 heading into this one. But what was really positive to see from them is how they didn't quit as that game rolled along against Central Plains on Friday. So the Buffaloes pushed things to a 3-all tie. 2 days ago, into the slot scores Emily Carrier. Her second of the game, make it 4-0 for the defending MFHL champion Eastman Selects, who may be a bit frustrated with how they've been stifled offensively throughout this weekend. They've had a lot of great looks, but you look back on Friday, only 1 goal against Pembina Valley on 44 shots, 2 goals against the Ice yesterday, and 2 goals against Weyburn in their first win last night, their final game of day 2. As that goal brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia once again. Cheyenne Scott Cook, the secondary assist, but yeah, the Selects may be taking out some offensive frustrations this afternoon against the Buffaloes in this final game of the weekend. Into the final minute of this first period, as puck remains in the corner. Emily Carrier continues to work out there. Has 2 goals in this game already. Gets to Chloe Carrier. That high shot rose up into Adama. She ends up making the stop. Either her 19th or 20th shot faced this period. With 47.6 seconds left along the boards, both teams battle. Selects. They were almost able to win that battle. Schroeder had the puck knocked off her stick to the slot. That fanned on by Emily Carrier. Chloe Carrier's shot blocked out the point. Number 22 for this Buffalo squad. Rather, number 37, Teifel. 32, sorry. Evidently can't read my numbers right now. So we got under 20 seconds remaining in this period. Down low. Sitar picks this up. She gets pinned up along the boards. Looking to just hold it there and kill this clock. Maybe one more chance still for the Selects, though, as that trickles through the crease. With 0 seconds on the clock, that means the buzzer sounds. The Buffaloes lead 20-3 in the shot total after the first 20 minutes, and more importantly for them, 4-0 on the scoreboard. Thought there were some instances where the Buffaloes, they showed some promise attacking in the offensive zone, but weren't really able to get anything going. The chances that they did have, they just weren't able to execute on them. I think looking to get quicker in your own end right now, because this Eastman Selects forecheck is quite a lot to deal with right now. For Eastman, I think it's just about continuing to play your game. Don't let off the gas. And this game that's looking like a routing right now is looking like it may head towards that. But for the Buffaloes, I think a positive is your goaltender is fighting hard. She's made some big saves. You do have some really skilled players on this team. How do players like the Swantons of this Buffaloes team step up, right? The players like, on that top line, Kira Vines, Rory Perrin, Logan Sullivan. This Buffalo squad needs someone to step up offensively right now. Who will it be? Well, we might find out coming up next in the second period. This first period brought to you by Ken Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. And as we throw it to our promo screen, we're going to show you some scores in just a moment here. Stick around, folks, for period 2 coming up soon.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, The Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome back in to Stride Place Arena here at the Stride Place Event Center in Portage la Prairie, Manitoba. It's been our home for these past few days as well. Started broadcasting the showcase on Friday morning, and we're going to be ending things off with this game this Sunday afternoon. Currently just after 2 o'clock, 2:08 p.m. And for the Eastman Selects, well, they're up on the scoreboard, 4-0 after the first 20 minutes of play. Really couldn't ask for a better period if you're the Eastman Selects. But of course, I think their coaches still looking to see if the consistency can keep up and if they can continue to extend this 4-goal lead they have. Emily Carrier with 2 goals. Same with Sasha Lambert, so it's the rookies that are getting in on the scoring here for Eastman. You'd all love that, as it's looking like another deep Eastman Selects team heading into this season. Ali Adama, the goaltender for the Pilot Mound Hockey Academy Buffaloes, had her hands full during that first period of action. She made 16 saves on the 20 shots against. She's going to need a lot more help in front in this one. The Buffaloes want any chance of getting back into it and making things a bit closer on the scoreboard. But I think for the Buffaloes, something you gotta look back at and you gotta use it as some belief is that, hey, you've come back in this tournament before. Like on Friday against the Central Plains Capitals. You, yes, gave up 60 shots against the Westman Wildcats, but put up 15 yesterday and ended up only losing by a few goals. It looked like things got away from them against the Winnipeg Avros, but that Avros squad just looked better and better as the weekend went along. Even though they ended up dropping the most recent game we had here on the network between the Wildcats and the Avros, our lowest scoring game of the Caps showcase so far. As we take a look at the scores, there's really been one blowout, and that came yesterday, 10-0 for the Weyburn Goldwings. Could we be heading to that score this afternoon? I think Pilot Mound is dreading that type of result, but hey, your goaltender's still giving you a chance. 16 saves made on 20 shots against. It's about cleaning things up a bit more as this game goes along and finding more ways and more chances creating those to be able to break through the Eastman Selects defense. So, of course, as for this next period of play, our first period was brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. This next period brought to you by Elite Prospects and Movement, Fitness, and Performance for Elite Prospects. Your most informative hockey data base for players on the web. You want stats from the past seasons of these players? Well, Elite Prospects is the place to look at. EliteProspects.com is where you can find all of the information you want on. I think any one of these players is Elite Prospects has a bunch of their info on their site. As to start off this second period, a puck in the Eastman zone along the wall. Play gets blown dead. Sit. We'll bring a face-off to the glove hand side of Addison Tomes. This will be picked up by Lambert. Draw one by the select. She feeds that over to Emily Carrier, who tried to split through the Pilot Mound Hockey Academy defense. Unable to, as the Buffaloes shut her down well. As for Caitlin Schroeder, down the left side, tries to feed that over to Lambert. Carrier gets spun as well. Back on her skates. Carrier in the slot. That shot turned aside. Lambert following up on the rebound at the side of the net. That Fandon hopped over the stick. Number 19. She's still out there pressuring Warwick. As that pass out in front. Found by Grenier off the post. She goes maybe even the side of the net, actually. So it's Hawes over to Chloe Carrier. Dishes this out to Isabella Carrier. Isabella Carrier toe drags and releases that one, but into some Buffalo skates. Not the result she wanted on that shot. As Kendra Carrolls sends this, tries to send it over the referee, ends up going cross ice to Georgia Atkinson. It's Isabella Carrier, whacks this back in. It's to Grenier, she intercepts that along the wall. Intercepted by the Buffaloes and sent right out is given chase. Number 10 in Nishaporik. Cross ice this goes. Hawes sends this onto the stick of Delaney Rigaud. It's to Isabella Carrier. Long wall. Rigaud to Grenier as that shot turned aside. Just beyond or just below the ringette line, that shot coming from Grenier. It was stopped by Adama. Is Pilot Mound able to break out? It's Constant. Dishes this off to Perrin. Perrin tries to feed that pass through, but unable to connect with number 10 in Nichaporik. That shot from the point sent wide of the net. It's deflected on its way through. That pass. Now a shot from the back of the net. That's Ferguson. Unable to capitalize. That shot from the point from Swanton turned aside by Tomes. Great pressure from this Pilot Mound Hockey Academy squad right now as the Buffaloes searching for that first goal of the game. Got to get back now as Swanton against Ray. Swanton holds her ground well as her and Ray were fighting for that puck. Gets it over to Kennedy Carrier. And Carrier to Beavis. Back to Carrier as Kennedy Carrier shot glove down by Adama. Couldn't snag it though. Allows for that rebound to kick out to Carrier. Sends it back to Tyndall. Back to Carrier. That shot tipped wide of the net. Nice draw by Vines getting a stick in the lane. Kira Vines misplays this. Turned over at the point. Now Tyndall can't get that shot through. Rebound. Unable to be put on net by Kennedy Carrier. Second chance shot on net though. Turned aside by Adama. As for Bella Ferguson, just stripped before she sent that in. She goes off for a line change along with Kira Vines. Also fresh legs on D for this Buffalo side. Miel Johnson and Reese Sitar out there at the points as Johnson has a bit of room to turn and maneuver this. Can't hold it in. She got that pass back from number 86 in Elise Arneson. As Johnson, teammates hollering at her to work that puck up. She did, but turned over into the Select's possession to the slot. Emily Carrier digs out that puck, got it loose to Lambert. It's been the best line for the Selects this afternoon. Lambert cuts in, passes to Hawes to the net. That shot looking for a tip, but getting none. As Hawes was trying to locate Schroeder's twig off the side of the net. Rebound there for Schroeder. Goes off the side of the net. After receiving that loose puck back, Hawes hesitates, goes D Sophie Remillard walks in, shoots, fired on rebound there, but fighting well to keep it away from the back of the net where the Buffaloes. That shot intercepted. Mael Johnson all the way down, and this will be for an icing. With 15:04 remaining, the Selects giving the Buffaloes everything they can handle right now and more. Sremai Grenier squares up against Nishapork. Nishapork for Pilot Mountain. Ends up winning that draw back. Buffalo's defenseman Johnson slides it over to Arneson. Arneson's pass up the middle, intercepted. Abby Tyndall plays this up the left side for Maya Grenier. Goes all the way down low. Reese Sitar, first one on it. It'll be rimmed around number 18 and Riley Sanders. Sanders send this all the way back down into the Select zone. It'll be Sophie Remillard, first one on it. Remillard flips this into the skates of Grenier. Now across this pass goes at center ice to Delaney Rigaud. Enters the zone, drops it back. Grenier, her shot fired right into the jersey of Adama. Right in the middle of it in that Buffalo's logo. This is the 27th shot of the afternoon for Eastman. 7th of this period. Shot 7-2 for Eastman currently in the second frame. 27-5 overall. Redirected to the front of the net. But Adama able to deny it. Up top, Beavis whips that over. Sophie Remillard had a Buffalo pressing up on her, so had to fire it quickly. As Delaney Rigaud up top, Beavis. She fires it this time around. Can't get it through the many bodies in front. About 3 Buffaloes jerseys at least there. They emphasize clearing away those bodies in front of their net. Played up and now chipped out by Atkinson. Georgia Atkinson trying to catch up to this. No ice on the play. It'll be Sophie Remillard who gets there first. Quickly up to Reese Beavis as Beavis forgets the puck. Gets it right back. It goes D to Remillard. Remillard back to Beavis. As Beavis will flip this cross ice to Kennedy Carrier. Carrier can't lift that past Avery Crow. This puck just inside the Eastman zone gets whistled down. So you get a stoppage in play. So 13-16 remaining in this second period of action. Sits one back and controlled by the Selects. That pass off a stick up the middle. It's sent all the way back down. Shan Scott Cook on the draw for the Selects. It's won by the Buffaloes as Whitten Constant tries to shovel this out up the right side. Unsuccessful as it's back for Swanton. D off the board. She went to Avery Crow, but puck knocked away and still below the ringette line in the Buffaloes' end. Whitten Constant pass up the middle. That's to number 17. Sorry, number 10 in Lauren Nichapork who got it deep. Here's a chance. Rory Perrin denied by number 34 in Addison Tomes. A pass up to Ray. Ray, cross ice feed to Lambert. Already 2 goals in this game. Lambert sends that towards the net, but unable to find the target. Scott Cook also there for support. As Pilot Mound able to evade the forecheck for now, able to get this out of the zone after banking it off the boards. This will be sent right back to Tyndall. Tyndall, her pass up the middle, unable to get there. It's intercepted. It's along the wall. Johnson trying to get it up to Ferguson. Instead sent back down low in the Pilot Mound end as they still look for ways to rake out successfully. give themselves an offensive zone opportunity to attack, and here's exactly what they may get. Kira Vines trying to protect that puck along the wall. Rubbed out by Tyndall. Tyndall takes her down hard. Penalty coming up here to the Eastman Selects. It'll be a power play brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance. And it'll be Pilot Mound on the power play for the first time this afternoon. It's Nichaporik, Arneson, and Teifel as the forwards. Warwick and Kendrick Carrolls as the defense. As Warwick gets this over to Kendrick Carrolls, who sends this down low. Eastman cuts it off right away, but can't send it much further up the wall as that's cut off down low, below the goal line by Pilot Mound. Warwick across to Carrolls. That shot blocked, and Isabella Carrier may have a step. Carrier short-handed, able to get by Warwick. All alone on Adama, scores! It's Isabella Carrier doing it all herself. A short-handed marker, 10:50 remaining in the second period to put the Selects up by 5 with 1:30 remaining in the Abby Tyndall penalty. And if your Kendrick Carroll's there, just didn't seem to learn from the first shot that gets blocked. This time, a lot more costly as Carrier able to take it the other way. Warwick was trying to help out, but Isabella Carrier was able to fend her off to head to the net, where she pulled off a beautiful move on Adama, where number 35 had no chance. That goal brought to you by Movement, Fitness, and Performance. We keep them on the screen as there's still just over a minute of Buffalo's power play time left. Recently given up a shorthanded marker. Swanton can maybe change things here. At the point, Swanton, her shot deflected and tight, not able to get that rebound or get to it. Number 19 in Atkinson is at the point. Swanton again feeds it D to D. That shot, rebound there, turned aside by Tomes. It's Pilot Mound trying to whack away at it in front, but unable to whack at it successfully. Nichaporik to take the draw again for the Buffaloes. Started off this power play out. It's only 2 minutes. Delaney Rigaud, nice stick. Able to get that all the way down after taking away from Sitar. Adama decides to just leave that puck for a defenseman who stretches this up to Constant, out of her reach. So that'll be down for an icing. For this Eastman squad. Losing the draw this time to the Buffaloes. It was Nichaporik who won it. 11 seconds left on the Buffaloes girl advantage. As Tyndall makes her way out of the box, she'll be first one on this puck. Back in her own end, trying to protect it from number 93 in Sullivan. She does just that and fires it up. Gets into the neutral ice. Sadie Swanton surveying options. Nice little saucer pass there from Swanton off the boards. It gets into the Buffalo zone for Pilot Mound. They got to get back to the defend now as Delaney Rigaud sends this up to Beavis. Beavis tries cutting in, tripped up, but no call on the play. The ref's letting that one go. This will be up the boards to Ferguson. Bella Ferguson sends this cross ice, but way out of the reach for Vines as the Selects look to transition up again. Nice play at the blue line to take that away by the Buffaloes. It'll be Ferguson towards the net, kicking out that pad. Was Holmes to make the stop. It's the Buffaloes now up to 5 shots in this period. Got to take that away as a positive so far, as they continue to fight. 8:16 remaining in this period. 5-0 the lead for the Eastman Selects. Most recently a shorthanded goal to make it 5-zip. Courtesy of Isabelle Carrier, shorthanded. An all-world effort from number 8. Scott Cook trying to dig this out along the boards. It'll get to Summer Ray as Ray has a Buffalo draped all over her. Strong enough as Warwick helping out. Number 2 and Kendra Carroll's on that play. The breakdown as Carroll's tries to send this cross ice. Met a skate of a teammate instead, but Nitchapork able to pick it up and carry it in. Lost a handle on the puck. So it gets to Nitchapork. Loses an edge again. She takes a tumble along the wall. Close to her own bench. She'll just send it in now. It's like she gave a bit of a whack to Scott Cook on the way through. Scott Cook, known for being a physical player. We're seeing that physicality on display right now. She just took down Johnson. The whistle called on the play and offside here. And I'm not sure. The forward for the Buffaloes and Riley Sanders really knew that that whistle had gone. Still looked like she was continuing play. As for the second period, brought to you by Elite Prospects. Sure you can find all the information about these Buffaloes from their past seasons, as well as the selects. But don't quote me on the selects specifically. It's the most informative hockey database in the world for players on the web today. Sure to check it out at eliteprospects.com. Don't think you'll be disappointed. As this sent out, Swanton right on it, drops it back. This will be sent cross ice. And a penalty coming up on the play. 2 minutes for a trip. And with that, it'll be the Eastman Selects who go to the power play. Brought to you by Elite Prospects. Just keep them on the screen. The rookie line out for the Selects team. Only non-rookie out on the ice right now is Reese Beavis and, of course, Addison Tomes, who occupies the Selects goal. She's been sharp on the shots that she's faced. Oh, this is a misplay with the puck. Let's see if Constant can do something with it. Constant unable to turn that up towards the Selects crease. Towards their goal is Schroeder. Sends this in deep. This will be Avery Crow. Lost possession of it down low for the Buffaloes. Up top this goes to Beavis. Beavis across to Remillard. A feet to the slot is that shot. High of the net by Schroeder. Another chance by Schroeder. Tough for one-timer that time. Trying to jam it at the side of the net is Emily Carrier looking for the hat trick. Also out there with 2 goals in this game, Sasha Lambert. Remillard steps in to the zone to get this puck back to the point to Beavis. It's dished back off to Remillard. That shot tipped and hit the post in the Buffalo's end. They're finally able to get out. And the youth for Eastman continues to impress here, even though they don't come away with a goal that time. I guess Schroeder also a returnee to this year's team. She's out there now. It goes off for a change. Of course, centering the 2 rookies in Emily Carrier and Sasha Lambert. Isabella Carrier, most recent goal scorer. Just this off to Chloe is Chloe Carrier's shot. From the right face-off circle, denied by Ali Adama. This face-off draw to the right of Atima, won by the Selects as it's controlled by Beavis. Feed to Carrier. Adama lost possession. The sights of it on that wraparound chance. Carrier tries to bank it in, but not to be there for number 8. We're back to even strength as a whistle blown net off. As Atima somehow able to come up with some big stops there. Had some help from the post too. With 4:41 remaining. Is this draw one to Beavis? Beavis fires this down low. Delaney Rigaud. Rigaud up to Tyndall. Abby Tyndall, her shot whistles just wide of the net. As let's get sent right back into the Buffalo zone. Rigaud tries to bank it off the boards to herself. Unable to. Carrier leaves that for number 4 in Tyndall. Again, sent right back down low. It's along the boards near the corner in the Buffalo's end. And play gets whistled down as we got a stoppage here. 3:59 remaining in the second period. You're watching the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase. The final game of this weekend, game number 22, between Pilot Mound Hockey Academy, the Buffalo's U18 female prep program, taking on the defending MFHL champion Eastman Selects. Is this up to the point? Sent across ice. Remillard, that tipped. It's off that D-to-D pass. Remillard with a really nice shot. Gave her team a chance to pounce on, but unable to this time around. Delaney Rigaud sends this towards the net. Covered up by number 35 in Atama. Shots now 34-8 in favor of the Selects. As Scott Cook unable to win that draw. Instead won by number 18 in Sanders. Down below Crow. D-to-D plays this to Swanton. Up to Atkinson, who just shovels this out. Down the right side. Will there be an icing on the play? No! Strong enough, fast enough to beat it out. Was not sure who that is for the Buffaloes. Now on the ice, I believe number 9 actually, and Sophie Drummond. This puck sent all the way out. Back into the Buffalo zone. As time continues to wind down in this second period of action. It's Maya Grenier to send that in deep. Cut off right at the blue line by the Buffaloes. Atkinson, her pass off the mark for Nichaporik. Which will bring another face-off draw back into the Buffaloes' end of the ice. Let's draw one by the Selects. Emily Carrier plays this to the point, just gets there to Chloe Carrier as the linesman, third time in a row, blocked the pass. Of course, his stats don't count. And honestly, would be very interested to see out a league like the MFHL and just Pilot Mound Hockey Academy if they had counted blocks like as an actual stat. How many we have seen in this game today. It's been a lot of contested chances. As Emily Carrier flips this up the middle, intercepted, knocked down by Perrin as Perrin goes off the boards, trying to get it back to herself. As Perrin tied up, tangled with Schroeder from the Buffalo, or from the Selects. As the Buffaloes forward finally breaks free. Turnover just outside the blue line, trying to gain a step. Is number 11 in Kira Vines, gets it back down low. That pass to Perrin, unable to connect with her. As we approach the final minute of play here in this second period. Period that has seen less goals, better chances for the Buffaloes. They have 6 shots compared to 3. Look at that. Lambert dazzles. Nice save made. A beauty by Adama. As the Buffaloes head the other way Chance trying to set that up for Bella Ferguson upon entry. She's unable to cradle that puck. Lambert still out there. Carrier carrying the puck. Loses her balance. She lost an edge there. Her own power. There's 40 seconds remain now. Teifel can't beat out Beavis to the puck as Beavis makes her way down the left side into the Buffalo zone. That shot just blockered away by Adama. Rebound scooped up by Rigaud. Up to the point to Ray. Move quickly across to Beavis. Beavis top of the right face-off circle. Denied. Rebound there. Adama sprawls out to make the save. As Isabella Carrier was looking for her second of the game. And not only that, second of the period. As Ray Dipsy Doodles gets by Teifel. That shot unable to get on net as it's blocked up. Ends up staying below the goal line as we head to the final intermission of this weekend. Almost the same amount of shots for Eastman in this period. 18 this time around to add on to the 20 they had in the first for 38 in total. The Buffaloes one shot away right now from hitting double digits as they're at 9. Much better period, I thought, for the Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy Buffaloes U18 female prep program. Only allowed 1 goal. Shots-wise, you basically let up the same. Your goalie in Ali Adama continued to give you great saves. Standing on her head at points. And, hey, you were starting to get more ozone pressure. Starting to find better chances against this select squad. But as for Eastman, I think what they're looking for is not only to close this out, but looking to add on to their lead even more to end off this weekend strong at the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase. Brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Terrico coming up for the third period, but for this period, Can Central was first period sponsor, Terrico third period, so the sponsors for the second was Move in Fitness and Performance, as well as Elite Prospects. Thank you to them and all of our sponsors for their support this weekend. We're going to flip it back to scores from day 1 and day 2 coming up next. Stick around, everybody. Period 3 coming up as we cap off this weekend the right way. And we are back for the third and final period from what's been, well, the busiest weekend in our company's history. And we can't say thank you enough to everyone that's tuned in throughout the weekend, maybe just for this game. No matter how you've supported us this weekend on the network, thank you for doing so. I've had a blast. Our crew's had a blast. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun down here in Portage La Prairie. Fun fact, besides like going to ringette games to watch my sister play ringette when she was younger, never really been to Portage La Prairie that often. It's a beautiful facility here. It's Stride Place Event Center. And yeah, this has been the home of 22 games this weekend. This facility, this rink specifically, has been the home to 14 games. This being the 14th. That is shown here on our network, but as we take a look once again at how day number 1 and 2 went, and how this day has gone so far. So, the Winnipeg Ice won over the Pembina Valley Hawks. I forget the score off the top of my head. The Prince Albert Northern Bears finished off their weekend with a win over the Yellowhead Chiefs earlier on. And fun fact, the Lightning got shut out by the Weyburn Gold Wings, and of course the Westman Wildcats shut out the Winnipeg Avros. So, I don't want to try to jinx anything, but we'll just put it out there. If this game ends with no goals for Pilot Mound, we'll end off this showcase with 3 straight shutouts, only after seeing one throughout the first 2 days, which is crazy how things go sometimes like that, right? But much better period from Pilot Mound. A lot more offensive zone time, more shots than the first period. Doubled their shots, 6 compared to the 3 that they put up in that first period. But still, they trail on the scoreboard 5-0. Only giving up 1 goal during that period, and that was a shorthanded marker, a beauty that we'll be putting in our highlight reel from this weekend, as once this weekend concludes and we make our way back to Winnipeg, Manitoba, going to get to work in terms of getting highlights out to post on our social media feeds, on our YouTube as well as giving people access to games that have bought it to watch live. As if you have only bought this game as a single game, and you didn't buy the bundle, unless you're subscribed to our all access packages, monthly or yearly, or MFHL packages, it's the same idea as like a pay-per-view UFC event where you only pay for the live event and that's it. But what we're going to be doing is working it out, so if you did pay for the live event, we're going to give you access to this game for free. That's if you just bought this game solely live, as well as any others this weekend. And yeah, for Eastman, start off their weekend 0-1-1, dropping their first game of the weekend against the Pembina Valley Hawks on Friday, 3-1. And of course, tying the Winnipeg Ice yesterday. They finally got into the win column on Saturday night last night, game number 17 of the tournament, as they were just able to get past Weyburn with the win. But here for the third period, which is brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Should find out why they've been so trusted at Terrico.ca. It's Nijaporek taking the draw against Caitlin Schroeder, as this line with 1 vet and 2 rooks has been quite impressive today. Sasha Lambert and Emily Carrier scored the first 4 goals combined in this one in the first period. 2 for Emily, 2 for Sasha. As for Lambert, speaking of her, fends off a Buffalo's check and ends up leaving this for Emily Carrier. Tied up down below is Carrier. Lambert in for support. It'll be back for Emily. Emily Carrier along the wall. Somehow still holding on to this puck. She's had enough of it, though. Just fires it around just strongly enough to get to Tyndall, who plays it back down low. The Selects trying to hem in Pilot Mound here early through the first minute of this period. Shot paddled away with ease into the corner by Atma. Trying to chip it past Haas, but unable to. Is finally back down into the Eastman zone. Quick little pass up ice to Emily Carey. Tried to cut through, but shut down by the Pilot Mound defense as Walrick sends a pass off the tape of, I believe, Atkinson. No, sorry, that's number 9 and Drummond was the intended target, I believe. As back up to Chloe Carrier. Carrier, her shot low, turned aside by Atma. No traffic really in front there to scoop up a rebound. Pilot Mound just sends this all the way down. And there will be an icing call on the play. Of course, Pilot Mound and Eastman coming into this weekend played quite a bit of hockey coming in. Eastman went out east, competed in the Stony Creek Showcase. As for Pilot Mound, competed in the Swift Current Wildcats Tournament Showcase near the start of this month. As that shot into the back of the net, that's a goal for number 9 in Maya Grenier. It's a 6-0 for the Eastman Selects. Shot that catches Adama off guard. Definitely had a chance at it. Maybe just misread the timing of it all. Unfortunate. But, I mean, hey, 35 saves made on 41 shots. Still pretty good so far, as Eastman, they look to continue to pressure. That goal brought to you by Terrico. Scott Cook trying to cut through, does just that, but lost the puck in the process, heading towards the net. It was great defense from the Pilot Mound D. Sitar up the wall. How's that cut off by Chloe Carrier? Carrier activates into the zone, pinching up. Trying to get this to the front of the net now as that's whacked away outside of the net. Loose puck ends up actually in the net right after that whistle is blown. It just crossed the line, but it will not count, of course. The whistle had gone just a moment before it ended up past Atma. Some Ray to take the draw on her flanks. Isabella Carrier and Delaney Rigo. That shot from the point smothered by Atma. So we got a face-off draw in the same spot. Those two players tied up. Along boards. Ray goes to battle with Ferguson. Tyndall in for support, gets this back. She sends this to Delaney Rigo. Rigo loses her balance. Whacks this to safety to Isabella Carrier. She battles in the opposite corner. Carrier maneuvers out of the corner now. Tries to fire that towards the net, but got blocked up on the way there. So it'll be sent back to the point to Tyndall. Across to Beavis. Beavis, her shot, kick save made off of that attempt by Atma as the Buffaloes look to stretch the ice up in the neutral zone. That pass just behind Perrin. Icing waved off though, so we continue play for this sequence. Buffaloes still with no shots in this period. For the Selects, 6 registered so far as that stretch pass off the boards and all the way down for an left of Tomes, won by the Selects, ends up in tight on Tomes. That's the first shot recorded the period for the Buffaloes too. Save made by number 34 in tight. Been very good when she has been faced with action in this one. As now Pilot Mound. That shot from Nichaporik wide of the net. That goes. Fortunate for her. Now here's a 2-on-1 development over to Lambert. Lambert tries firing that, but great back check. Get back by Teifel. Not allowing the hat trick try to be easy for Lambert. As Schroeder tries to scoop this loose from the boards. Now Lambert sends it cross ice just outside the blue line. It's her and Emily Carrier to be first four checkers on the Buffaloes defense. As Warwick, her pass fails. Met at the line by Chloe Carrier on the backhand, trying to drive this to the net, but a good defensive stick. Staying with her all the way. Number 19 in Georgia Atkinson, showing that good two-way ability. Number 19, her position being forward. Chloe Carrier now emerges from the wall in front of the net. Rebound can't be put away by the Selects instead. Sent right out by the Buffaloes, but another turnover at center ice allows for the Selects to make their way back in. Lambert lit up right near the blue line, gets right back up. It's Drummond who laid the body, and Drummond's going to pay for that one. As for Lambert, she heads off to her bench. Drummond heads to the penalty box. I think maybe just some frustration there from number 9. Maybe trying to give her team some sort of spark here late. Them to at least try to get that all-important goal right now. This Buffalo squad going against a very tough Eastman squad. Grenier already has a goal in this game, the most recent one. That gets smothered as Atma denies that chance. So Grenier, Scott Cook, and Kennedy Carrier out for the Selects as forwards. Beavis and Sophie Remillard on the back end. As this held in by Beavis at the point. Got Scott Cook. Tried kicking it up to herself. That whacked at in the slot. But wide of the net, it trickles. So it's to Sophie Remillard. Almost lost her balance. Maintained her footing. Got it up to Beavis. Grenier tries to locate Sophie Remillard, who was creeping up into the offensive zone. Remillard. Backhand feed. Denied as it's sent out right away with 1:13 remaining on this Selects power play. Grenier now drops this back for Kennedy Carrier to Beavis. Beavis over to Ray. Ray, her shot from the point. Rebound there, Carrier trying to find it. Another good save by Atma on that chance, kicking that pad out. And also the Buffaloes will be going to the power play here soon. As we leave Terrico on the screen. Whenever that comes. As Blake Hawes sends us over to Isabella Carrier. Carrier lost that to the referee down low. Tried to kick it back to Carrier was the ref. As Rigo has it down low now. As for time. So I believe it actually might just be coincidental. So is that shot fired on? Yeah, still a 5-on-4 for the Eastman Selects, by the way. So we got Terrico remaining on the screen for our power play sponsor. It's controlled up to the point now to Hawes. Hawes, her shot denied by Atma. We're back to even strength. As 50 shots on net now for the select squad. That turned aside. Number 35, Adama. The puck still remains in the select's possession. What a move by Carrier as that shot just grazes the side of the net. Carrier again off the post. Number 8 goes, searching for that second of the afternoon. But not to be for number 8. Number 18, Rigaud, trying to bust her way through the defense. Somehow still holding on to this puck. What an effort from Rigaud, and they score! Eastman's top goal scorer from last year, willing her way to the front of the net. Waits out Adama just enough to tuck that in. It's the touchdown with the point after for the Selects now. 12:09 remaining. It's a 7-0 hockey game. That goal brought to you by Terrico. Delaney Rigaud. Nice to see her on the goal scoring sheet on this Sunday afternoon. So both these teams after this game will be heading back their respective parts of the province. For Eastman, they'll be heading back to Niverville before their players disperse. And for Pilot Mound, is that a really bad hit as the frustration is seeping into the Buffaloes game now on the ice. Luckily for Caitlin Schroeder, she seems to be okay as she heads to the bench. As we'll keep Terrico on the screen. It's an Eastman Selects power play once again. I believe Sanders actually may be getting kicked out of this game. She will be. She grabs her water. Her weekend is over. Yeah, it's just not a hit that you make in that moment. No matter what time of the game it is or what the circumstances are, it's a scary play. Luckily, Schroeder was okay, able to skate to the bench. But yeah, that's it for Drummond this afternoon. It's another Eastman Selects power play. Down low, Scott Cook maintains possession of the puck and fends off Warrett's stick with great strength. Up to Grenier, up to the point to Chloe Carrier, unloads that shot way wide of the net. Picked up by Sophie Remillard. Remillard switches and gets this back to Carrier as Carrier's shot low, denied by number 35 in Atama. 53 shots faced here this afternoon now for Atama. Gets to the top of the face-off circle for Grenier. Plays it to Remillard. Back down low to Scott Cook. And it's to Remillard again. Remillard up to Chloe Carrier. To Grenier, but that pass off the mark. Intended for number 9, but wasn't able to get it the first time. Now gets it down low to Scott Cook. Scott Cook trying to feed that to the slot for Kennedy Carrier. Picked up by Sophie Remillard as that backhand goes high of the net. 45 seconds remain on a power play where it's been all offensive zone time for the Selects. Chloe Carrier back to Grenier. Walks in, shoots, denied. Grenier ready, of course, with a goal in this game. Would love to add a second one. As finally this sent out by the Buffaloes, they get a full line change out too. 4 new fresh players out onto the ice. And it will be Perrin who will be coming out of the box shortly here, serving that penalty from number 18 in Riley Sanders. Tyndall to the slot with that pass. It does not connect. We are back to even strength as Selects weave their way to the front of the net, but shot out of play. With 9:33 left on the clock. We're back to even strength. So we go to take the draw against Sullivan. Rigaud ends up winning. Sorry, that was against Arneson. As for Arneson, loses the battle down low. Rigaud sends it up to the point. To Tyndall. Tyndall shot unable to get through. Nice block by Arneson, but Arneson has it stripped away by Rigaud. As Rigaud fires this in deep. It's Sadie Swanton just trying to lift this out. Didn't get enough juice on it as it's turned over again. Over to Delaney Rigaud from the right face-off circle, denied by Atma. As Pilot Mound getting a fresh set of legs out there. Their top line on paper in Perrin, Vines out on the ice along with Bella Ferguson, as Bella Ferguson gets in the lane of that pass. Can't do much else with it though, as Eastman catches up to it first. It'll be played D-to-D. Carrolls tries to connect with Perrin with the pass. Just past the red line, that was deflected in, so no icing will be coming up on the play. As Eastman goes D-to-D quickly. It's up top to Lambert. Lambert clogs up the boards well. Chips this in the direction of Caitlin Schroeder. And now it's up to Emily Carrier. Emily Carrier circles around down low. Fires this up, but that pass unable to be cradled in by Sasha Lambert. Is hauled down now, a Buffalo by Perrin. That's Sophie Remillard. The refs let them play on with just under 8 minutes left to go now in this game. Lambert against Warwick. Warwick lost an edge. Lambert still with it as Lambert loses the puck finally. Emily Carrier tries to dangle through but denied by the stick of number 15 number 16, Sitar. As delayed offside on the play called. 7-0 Eastman leads over the Pilot Mound Hockey Academy Buffaloes. The U18 female prep program, who are making their annual appearance, it seems like. They've been a part of this showcase for a very long time. Of course, competing in it again this year. Won't be surprised to see them back again next year. So that will be interesting for sure. We'll talk about that more in the post-game show. So we wrap up day 3 here shortly. That turned aside by Atma. There's a draw to the blocker hand side of Atma. Won by the Selects into the slot. That too in tight for Scott Cook to do anything with it. She was looking to load up for a one-timer chance. Would have been her first goal of this game. She already has at least a point. Secondary assist for sure. So we heard early on, or earlier in this game at this point. It'll be Arneson who sends this back down into her own end as the Buffaloes still searching for ways to transition up successfully in this period. Is that pass off the stick right away of number 14 and Crow to the middle for Ray, who tries to get that on net. Rebound not going to be there as Adama covers it up. For Delaney Rigaud, and on the face-off draw now. Loses this to Nichaporik, as Nichaporik, big bright side for her. She's been really good in the face-off circle all afternoon long. Carey with a rocket of a shot. A heavy wrister that Adama is just able to turn aside out of play. His face-off draw won by the Buffaloes but not able to be cleared out by them once again. It's the Selects looking to control this. Hawes! It was already over the line, brought back in. It's for the Selects. And the Buffaloes face-off draw will just be outside of Pilot Mound's end here coming up. With 5:54 remaining in this contest. 7-0 for the Selects. It is football Sunday, too, in the NFL. So, kind of fitting that this is the score. They're up by 7. Not a chance for Carrier. Rebound there in front and put in by number 18 in Delaney Rigaud, her second of the contest. As it's now 8-0 in favor of the Selects. With 5:30 remaining. And staying puck hungry. A great nose for the net there for Delaney Rigaud. Been so good with that stick all weekend long. Really sweet deflection goal we saw last night. Or it might have been in the ice game. I forget exactly when, but I believe against the ice. I had to mute myself for a sec. Thought I was going to sneeze. We're back to action in terms of calling this game. 4:46 remaining. The Selects wild in front as they search for a potential 9th goal here. Schroeder can't get that shot through. Blocked up well by the Buffaloes. Lambert back on it. As her and Emily Carrier searching for hat-trick goal. Both with 2 goals each to open up this game to make it 4-0 after the first. I'd say a much better third period compared to their second for this Eastman Selects team, who are also a shot away right now from putting up 60 shots on goal against this Buffalo side. It'll be Abby Tyndall. Her pass couldn't be cradled in there by Emily Carrier. Carrier tried to get it back to the point. Schroeder also there. Taken away by Swanton. That pass to Sullivan, who sends it in deep just past the red line. As for Beavis, sends this, rims it around to Emily Carrier. As Schroeder pokes this up to Lambert. Lambert trying to poke it through Carroll's. Couldn't. No offside on the play. Thought there could have been there. As Schroeder down low with Grenier. Schroeder going off for a change now. As Lambert, the only one remaining out there on this line. As this gets flipped out off the boards. As Lambert, her pass to the middle, cut off. She goes off for a change now. As Grenier, back to Chloe Carrier. Carrier to Kennedy Carrier as she redirects that in off the boards. Off her stick, so I should say. It's number 71 in Perrin. Turn that over up by Scott Cook. Down the left side now. Feeds that to the middle of the offensive zone. But pass not connected on there with Grenier. So this all the way back down into the select zone. Touched up, no icing on the play. As Chloe Carrier trying to evade the pressure in the corner put on by Bella Ferguson right now. Does exactly that. Tries to play a D to Sophie Remillard. As 2:19 remains in this contest now. It's the Buffaloes searching for them would be an important goal. Would be a moral victory. Maybe they get it here. Tomes denies her in tight. It was Sophia Drummond who did everything right except the finish. Getting in tight to put that Rebound on net. Or that one-timer on net. Rebound cleared away. Summer Rae trying to make her way towards the net, instead taken down by Sitar. As Eastman sends this back below the Pilot Mound goal line. Reverse to Warwick. Is that effort from Warwick? Unable to get it out. It's to Isabella Carrier. That shot turned aside. Low on ice by Atama. As we approach a final minute of play here in period number 3 of this final game of the 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase. As now Eastman with 60 shots on goal. 8 goals scored to end off their weekend in the best way possible in the win column for themselves. The only thing that could be better if they're able to hold on for a shutout win. As Tomes occupies her crease. It's Beavis and Hawes below the goal lines working up now as they went D to D. It's worked up to Schroeder. Has Emily Carrier with her on the left side. Schroeder to carry! That whiffed on by number 21. As, of course, mentioned already several times, searching for that hat-trick goal. Puck not agreeing with her that time. Maybe the hockey gods just want Ern Lambert to have one, as they've been so dangerous as this game has gone along. And this Eastman team proven once again to be a threat against any team they play. It wasn't always pretty for them this weekend. Their execution was lacking at points, but that was definitely not the case in this game. As for the final time this weekend, we hear the buzzer sound. It's the Eastman Selects who take this one home. 8-0 over the CSSHL's Pilot Mound Hockey Academy Buffaloes. As right now, the Buffs gathering around their goaltender, giving her much needed pats on the back, taps on her pad. She made 52 saves in this game on 60 shots. Unbelievable. Would have been nice if she had some more offensive help in front, as for the Buffaloes, that's been the story for them to start off this season. Great goaltending as always. Some solid talent on the defense, but got to work hard for that offense, and just didn't work hard enough today against an Eastman Selects team in that end of the ice. Even though they had their chances, Eastman was just superior in all phases. Looking very much like the team we saw take home the championship last season in the MFHL. As for us, gshowproductions.uscreen.ca, we want to thank our sponsors before we head into our final post-game show of this weekend, which isn't going to be very long. All the crew's tired. We want to get back to Winnipeg and enjoy the rest of this Sunday. It's a busy week for us. We got a bunch of podcasts coming out on the network. Rumor has it MFHL regular season's supposed to start next weekend. So this is truly the start of when things start to get crazy for not only us, but everyone in the hockey world here in U22 at that age group. Anything below here in the province of Manitoba. But 22 games in total that were displayed throughout this weekend, 14 on our network. And crazy, we end off the tournament with 3 straight shutouts as the Gold Wings, Wildcats, and Selects all finish off with shutout wins. Just in terms of my final thoughts, every single team had high-end skill and talent that stood out, and how could they not, this being AAA caliber teams. I was really impressed from just the teams that haven't played with each other really at all this year to look as good as they did. Shout out to the Prince Albert Northern Bears. The Winnipeg Ice haven't really had that much action heading in either. Weyburn, I'm not so sure about them. Might have played some games before, but Prince Albert and the Winnipeg Ice for sure, the 2 most notable teams, I think, on my radar that didn't play any games coming in. Looked like some of the strongest teams this weekend. I believe the Westman Wildcats, I could be wrong on this, but they may be the only team that had an undefeated weekend. That team looks dangerous. They looked very strong against every single opponent they played this weekend. That group coached by Carissa Kirkup. Lots of excitement ahead this season. Thought the two Winnipeg teams looked good. Thought Eastman improved as the weekend went along. Heck, even Central Plains, the host team, the Interlake Lightning, they showed signs of some good potential this weekend. And for the Pembina Valley Hawks, even though they got blown out in a few games, what a way to start off their weekend, taking down the defending champions in the MFHL in the Eastman Selects. But I think what we expected to happen this weekend did happen, and much more. We were treated to close games, entertaining games, and games just in general that were pretty competitive throughout this whole weekend. Day 1 was a blast. Day 2 was a lot of fun. Same with Day 3 here today. As for us at G-Show Productions, myself, Graham, the G-Show Forsyth, I want to thank you for tuning in and supporting us this weekend. The biggest event our company has ever done. I also want to thank our crew for coming out this week. Mackenzie Thompson for helping out with camera production as well as producing these games as the weekend went along. My cousin Marty Boulanger stepping up and helping out with the camera, as well as one of our newer announcers in Anthony Bailey, who held it down on the announcing portion of things when I didn't announce this weekend. We hope to be back next year for the 2026 Central Plains Capital Showcase. And until next time, folks, I've been your host and play-by-play commentator for most of this weekend, Graham the G-Show Forsyth, thanking you for choosing gshowproductions.uscreen.io to watch this year's 2025 Central Plains Capital Showcase. It's been a blast. Hope everyone drives safe who made it out this weekend back home. To all the teams and to everyone, thank you for your support. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The Selects end off this year's showcase with an 8-0 drubbing over the Pilot Mound Hockey Academy Buffaloes. Take care, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.